SKYROK, your quantum solutions.
Welcome to ThoughtStream, a journey in the expanse of quantum discovery and social enlightenment, brought to you by the pioneering spirits at SKYCIETY and the forward thinkers at SKYROK Galactic. I'm Ashley DITE, alongside the ever-insightful KINGZILLA. In today's episode, we're drawing back the curtain on the silent battles waged in the shadows of our school and libraries, a conflict over the hearts and minds of our youngest generation. Standing tall at the vanguard of this battle is JOANNA DANIELS, a true hero in the quest to protect our children from the insidious agenda aimed at corrupting their innocence and eroding their minds, bodies, and values. JOANNA's name might be familiar to you through her connection as the dedicated wife of the acclaimed American band P.O.D's bassist, TRAA Daniels, but her legacy is being carved in the dimension far beyond the stages of music. She has risen as a formidable vocal warrior against a dark and pervasive force that has infiltrated our educational systems with content that undermines the very foundation of moral and ethical virtue. In the face of this encroaching darkness, JOANNA has been a steadfast guardian of purity, ensuring that the materials that our children encounter in their formative years serve to uplift, educate, and reinforce the values we hold dear. As we welcome JOANNA Daniels to the show, we do so not just as a guest, but as a hero who has stood in the gap for our children, challenging the villainous agenda designed to poison and corrupt their pure minds and sacred health. JOANNA, your courage and dedication inspire us all, and we are eager to hear your story, learn from your experiences, and join you in this crucial fight for the soul of our society. Thank you, JOANNA.
Wow. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. So appreciate you both doing this. This is amazing. Thank you. Honored to be here.
It's good to see you, lady. It's been a minute. So let's get into this. I am quite familiar with all of the things that you have been involved in and helping. You've educated me over the years on the health part of things, but of course we know there's a whole big bag of things going on, that it goes past just what we put into our stomachs. It's now what's being injected into the minds and putting seeds that take a new generation into a wrong direction. So if you could, please tell the people about what it is you're involved in there in Nashville and what's just been going on, especially since COVID, since the lockdown.
I became awake, and I'm going to say awake, when I was 19 years old, to learning about what's happening in the United States and what the government is doing and has been doing and has been putting in place for decades. Now at 19, that was a time when we had AOL dial-up. So it was a little bit ago, okay? I was at the time living in Ohio, in Canton, Ohio, the Football Hall of Fame place, and I started learning about nutrition. And the reason why I learned about nutrition is because I was sick growing up. From 6 months of age till 19, I was always sick. And my mom was a single parent of 4, so we were in the government system. And I was tired of being sick, and I started looking into what's happening and why I'm so sick, and come to find out a lot of that has to do with the government. And if you're a poor person, it's even worse for you. And so, 19, that was almost 28 years ago. And I started reading, because not much was on the internet, and just started reading and really looking. And it really honestly was a God thing, because I wasn't looking to be an activist. I wasn't looking for any of this, but God allowed something to happen in my life so that I can then become aware of something. And then he knows I have a big mouth. So I was just going to tell anybody. And so, um, and so you think about it, 28 years ago, the stuff that I was talking about is the stuff that people's talking about now. And so I am so thankful to God that people are waking up. And there was no way that even 10 years ago, you would have been able to get 10 people in a room to talk about some of the subjects that you guys have been talking about here. And so it is a God thing that people are waking up. And I think that since COVID, something that evil one meant for evil, God took and made for good. And so, and even since then, a lot of my eyes have been opened up. So, I moved from California to Tennessee in 2018, and I wanted to get out of anything political. I was done with dealing things with political. I was like, I was going to go to Tennessee. It was going to be my conservative heaven or haven. And I was going to open up a wellness center, and I was just going to be peaceful and like be done with politics. Well, as you guys are believers, our plan really means nothing. It's all God's plan. So he's going, that's pretty, that's cute. Yeah, okay, you think that. So I get to Tennessee, and 2019 was just kind of getting ready. And then in 2020, you know, the world went cray-cray. And I was literally thrown in to the fire. And I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, I knew nobody out there. And God started connecting me with so many people. And so I started getting connected. We started a group, 5 of us started a group called Free Tennessee. It jumped to 12,000 Facebook people in about 2 weeks. We were doing rallies at the Capitol when Tennessee was shut down, medical freedom rallies, getting nurses connected. So it was absolutely amazing. And then I started learning about what was going on in the schools in Tennessee, because I wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on in the schools in Tennessee, because I'd just come from California, and I thought, oh, well, Tennessee is like, we're in the Bible Belt. Okay. Like there's nothing going to happen here. Right. We have a majority, of Republicans. Like there's nothing the Democrats can do in our legislative anything, because we have a super majority. So I was like, oh, we're good. And then because of what we were doing with the medical freedom and fighting against the government, people started coming to me saying, do you know what's in our schools? Do you know what's in our libraries here? And I was just like, no, like it's Tennessee. And it blew my mind. And then I started digging into Tennessee. And let me tell you, the stuff that's in California, it's everywhere. I thought there's no way it's going to get into Tennessee. Oh, it is. And the curriculum is there. It's there. And people are like, oh, well, it's not that bad. It doesn't matter if it's that bad. You know how the devil gets into your life? Little bit at a time. He's not going to come through the front door. Not going to come through the front door. He comes in and he creeps in a little bit at a time. So I was amazed at the curriculum. It's called Wit and Wisdom, which is by great minds, which is Bill Gates. And so I was like, my mind just went, I was just like, are you serious? And then I found an article from 2019. Bill Lee, our governor, had just got elected in 2018. I couldn't vote because I just moved there. And in 2019, in the beginning of 2019, I don't know exactly which month it was, there's an article about from stating that Bill Gates is so excited to work with a governor for the next 8 years that is so focused in on education. I went, he just got elected. How does Bill Lee, he's going to be elected for a second term? Like, what's happening here? And Bill Gates had already put in, I think it was $32 million into Tennessee. And what a lot of people don't know, and I even talked to some Tennessee residents, I said that I found out was that it was Tennessee and one other state. I want to say it was Arkansas or something like that, but I can't remember. They were the ones, there was 2 states that won the Race to the Top grant that Obama gave out. And Tennessee got $500 million from the federal government. I want to say it was in 2010 or 2011 to implement Common Core into the education system. And so my mind just blew up. I was like, Tennessee is neck deep in this stuff. I thought I left California to come to a state that was like, oh, we're conservative, da, da, da. And I was just like, boom. So anyways, just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of background and the libraries and everything like that. So just want to give you a little background to begin with. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, and what you're saying goes along with a thought process that I've had, and I've spoken to you about this, Joanna, for years now, is that the American people have been sold out long ago. There are things going on in the shadows, and now it's not in the shadows. So let me rephrase that. What used to be in the shadows is now being put blatantly in your face to see, and the way that is being pimped upon the people, you accept it in a way that this is cool. So we have to have warriors that are willing to say, I think you're not looking at this properly. When you inject onto a child a mind that is open, you can mold it. You see what I'm saying? Like when I look at 12 years of education, right? I look at that now as a program. You get this child from 0, kindergarten. Then you take them.
which is a German thing.
Okay, right. Okay, so from ground 0. Then we add another 12 years of programming. Now, I'm an older man now. I've got grandchildren, and I feel like my parents now, right? I used to sit back and listen to my parents say, man, this place is going to hell. I'm seeing this and this, and I and I'm sitting here saying the same thing now because I'm seeing in my years, I went through, the education system. My kids went through it. My oldest grandchild is now starting, that kindergarten thing this year, right? And I'm going, wow, I don't want this stuff being taught to him. His parents don't want this crap being taught to him. So we are looking at alternative options for him, as well as all of my grandkids, so that they won't be indoctrinated into this thing that's going on. And it's sad, but we are at a point where we have to say something. We have to stick up about it. And well, Joanna, what we have running the country right now is beyond sad. It's just more of this thing being pushed. I'm not with it. And it seems like if you speak up on certain things, you get canceled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which brings up a whole other subject matter. What has happened to freedom of speech?
Mm-hmm.
You can say and push your objective off on the people, but if I don't agree with that, I'm now demonstrating a hate crime,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what I say, which, depending on what I say, could just be the truth. The truth of the matter is that when it comes to schools, you need to stick to the curriculum of learning. And part of learning is not your job to sit there and tell a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, or whatever about how, yeah, it's cool if you feel like you want to mutilate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your
Well,
job.
they don't teach classical education anymore, except for in a few schools nowadays.
Yeah, well, they took
And
out a lot of them.
yeah, and this, what people don't understand is that this started back in the 50s and 60s. And people think, oh, it was just like the last 10 years. No, 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 no. You start going back, it was actually before that. It was more like the 20s and 30s, but it really started ramping up in the 50s and 60s. And then I want to say it was 79 or 80 when we developed the federal Department of Education, because before that there wasn't one. A lot of people think like, oh, well, we've had this federal Department of Education for since education started. No, we didn't. People don't know that. And then from that came, the No Child Left Behind. And then and then we've got Clinton, and then we've got, the World Economic Forum that now creates our curriculum for our schools nowadays. And a lot of people they think that this is a conspiracy, but it's not. I mean, in my presentations, I bring up the forums. Like, it's on the internet. And the best way to hide something is in plain sight, right?
Right,
Because
right,
people are
right.
like that cognitive dissonance, like, oh no, well, there must not be any like real, nefarious thing. Absolutely, there is. And ever since, especially after World War II, when we took in all the German people, all the high ups, the Nazis that came to America, so we could learn from them how to educate our children. Which is, it's absolutely true. You know what I mean? And a lot of the books that is in the school, the teachers get from, a lot of the theories come from communist or Marxist people. And people just go, oh, what? Like, what are you talking about? And so this is something that's been in place for a while. They've just been doing it in little increments at a time. And people don't understand that it's literally the dumbing down of people. And then it's also making it so that everyone is fear-based. You look at some of the books that they give to kindergartners. They're scary. I mean, some of the images, I'm like, that would give me a nightmare as an adult. Like, I mean, just like dark and very sharp colors. And I'm like, ah. But they know that when you traumatize a brain, then you can do so much more with that brain. Think about it. When people kidnap people or anything like that, they're in constant fear, or when they're able to get some. When you inject fear and trauma, you can become the savior. You can become the person that gives them their their safety, all this stuff. And that's what schools do. They cause trauma, and then they become the safe place, not the parents anymore.
Mm.
not the loved ones, not the family. It's your teacher. It's your friends at school. It's this. Then whatever they teach you, you willingly accept because there's no barrier now.
Mm.
But then when you get home, the parents try to tell you something. Well, it goes against this, what you've literally been listening to for the last 7 hours. And you go, no, that doesn't compute. No. So when I was younger, I tried to get my mom to homeschool my brother and my sisters. And she thought, no, that, oh, no. Like you don't homeschool because they'll be socially, problem. Look at our public school kids coming out.
Ooh, that's
Like,
why we developed
okay.
Sensora. We had
Man,
to
what,
develop
man?
Sensora. That's exactly why we had to create that entire education system. And you guys can definitely go back and check out that video so that you can see what we're over there creating and have created so that we have a safe haven for our children. That's especially when we send them places, because the fact is, guys, this is the truth. Everybody's out here watching all these zombie apocalypse movies. We are in a pedophile apocalypse, and they showed up at
Yes.
your children's schools. See it in the news every day now. It's that simple. And everyone has to stand up as a community. KINGZILLA, you were just talking about what happened in Nazi Germany. I want to go ahead and send that over to you so that you can talk on the mic. Tell us what happened. Tell the viewers what happened before we close out so they can have a nugget to think about while they wait until next week for the next video to come out.
Well, check this out. So I saw this video and it really put a seed in my head. Well, okay, so they had like 13,000 churches during the Nazi Party's reign, right? So when Hitler got voted in, and he was voted in, okay, this wasn't we're going to come in and just take over. He was voted in by the people as the chancellor, right? Now, out of that 13,000 churches, there was only 3,000 churches that was like, man, something's wrong with this guy. We got to stand up against this guy. Well, as soon as he became the chancellor, he went after those 3,000 churches and he killed those people, right? And the other multitude of thousands of churches that said, well, we don't want to get involved. Let's stay quiet. We don't want to get involved. He turned on them too. They got destroyed too. And what that did for me was it just made me realize, and all of us have heard this throughout our lives, is that if you don't stand for something and you just sit in the shadows, oh, I'm not going to get involved, I don't want to get involved, then certain things are going to come your way when you take that stance. And those people in Germany during that who chose to say nothing and do nothing, this guy ended up turning on them, and a lot of those people lost their lives, right? And it made me think about America right now. We see so many people that have been a hero to speak up about something, and then they're villainized for basically coming out saying something truthful. We definitely are in a time where people would rather be lied to because that tickles their ear, the lie, opposed to being told the truth. The truth doesn't feel good to people these days. Personally, I like the truth. Stir up my emotion. Call me out when I'm wrong. Hey, Kevin, man, hey, man, I love you, brother, but you're wrong. And I value having friendships with people that aren't afraid to come up to big brother, and be like, yo, man, that ain't cool, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's important. But now you tell people the truth or you point out correction, and man, that's a problem.
You're right.
They're sensitive. You hurt my feelings. I hurt your feelings. What's going on in America right now, man? It's like And I can't say what I want to say, what my father told me when I was a kid, but he said, there's too many candy butts in the world. That's putting it mild.
Well, I tell you what, over here at SKYCIETY, you guys are going to definitely get more of this content and these topics. Joanna's going to be at the forefront in Tennessee, letting you all know what's happening, boots on the ground. You can find out more at skyciety.space. You can catch us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all those cool places. And we are so thankful that you spent your time here. We know it's your most valuable resource, and you chose to spend it with us. Joanna, thank you so much for being here. Keep up the good fight, and blessings to everyone.
See, I can teach you how to walk untouchable. I can teach you how to talk in scripture all alone. I can teach you what it means to live eternally. Only if you let me.